we're willing to rescind Section 33, but only if CUPE agrees to show a similar gesture of good faith by stopping their strike.
Premier Doug Ford promises to repeal the controversial legislation, but only if education workers return to work. Good afternoon. We begin with breaking news. Premier Doug Ford making a pitch to try and end the education workers' strike by offering to repeal the education law, but only if CUPE ends their work stoppage. We are hearing from the union right now. We will get to them momentarily, but for now, let's go to CTV's Colton Prale, who is live with the latest on this. Colton?
Matt, when Premier Doug Ford invoked the notwithstanding clause and passed a legislated contract, it was a message that he would do what he felt was needed to keep kids in class. But that plan failed. Education workers went on strike anyway, and thousands of kids are learning from home today. Now the premier is changing tactics. In an announcement this morning, Ford says his government is willing to return to the negotiating table and rescind Bill 28 so long as teachers stop the strikes that are currently underway.
I have put out a massive olive branch. I have said I will rescind Section 33 based on them going back into the classrooms, getting the kids back in the classrooms, and they can only control that. I can't control that. And once they do that, we sit down at the table and we negotiate a fair deal. Folks, eventually this has to come to an end. The only people CUPE is hurting are the kids right now.
Ford says his government is willing to make a fair deal, but he has refused to commit to not using the notwithstanding clause in the future. Now, Matt, we were expecting to hear from CUPE a lot earlier this morning. We are starting to hear from them right now, a press conference just getting underway. Matt.
Okay, CTV's Colton Prale live for us. Thank you, Colton. Let's go now, if we can, to that news conference. CUPE holding it right now, moments ago, saying and confirming they have in writing that the provincial government will rescind Bill 28 from the Premier's office and saying job action will end starting tomorrow. So schools will be expected to be open tomorrow. Let's listen in and hear from Laura Walton.
And I want to take a moment to speak directly to Ontario education workers, my co-workers and our members. We have our bargaining rights back. And I am as committed as I've ever been to getting a deal that works for each and every one of you. You led this movement that brought labor unions together with parents and concerned Canadians everywhere. You led this movement that showed the people of Ontario that you can stand up to a bully, look them in the eye, and say, hell no, not today. And I want to say I am so very proud of every single one of you. And we're going to be going back to that bargaining table to continue the fight. Thank you.
My name is Bea Brusk, and I'm the president of the Canadian Labour Congress. The Canadian Labour Congress brings together over 3 million workers in private and public sector areas right across this country. We represent those folks who keep our economy going day in and day out. We play a critical role in Canada's economy. We are the unionized workers who are keeping this country running. Last week, Premier Ford made a very dangerous decision. He rammed through a law that would have grossly rammed through an unfair collective agreement on the lowest paid education workers in this province. He also wanted to strip away legal protections that Canadian workers have had for many, many decades. The right to strike is an absolutely essential part of free and fair collective bargaining. And under no circumstances will Canada's unions allow any premier to take that right away. Premier Ford did this when he knew that our economy is in peril. He did this when he knew that schools, children, parents, grandparents, and employers would be scrambling by trying to implement this kind of a bill. He knew that every single workplace would be impacted at a time when our economy and the people of this province cannot withstand another blow. I'm glad that Premier Ford made the right decision this morning and walked back this dangerous and reckless legislation. But now that he's put his promise in writing, I'm asking him to put his money where his mouth is and actually get to the bargaining table and negotiate a fair deal. Let's be clear, Premier Ford grossly overreached, and the support from the workers, from the very workers that CUPE represents in this game, those 55,000 courageous workers who stood up and said, no way, not today, was matched by the thousands and millions of workers across this country coming together and saying, hell no, not going to happen today. And we appreciate that now is the time to get back to that bargaining table, and let there be no mistake. Canada's unions are ready to come back and rally once again and do whatever it takes to get this done.
Hi, my name is Karen Brown. I'm president of the Elementary Teachers Federation of Ontario. On behalf of ETFO and the 83,000 members we represent, I'd like to thank CUPE National for inviting me here to be with you all today. We stand together, united in solidarity, and fueled by the collective power of our members, the workers of Ontario. Let there be no doubt that we will not stand by and watch this government strip away our constitutionally protected rights because they want to avoid the inconvenience of negotiations. Never, not here, not in Ontario. We will not stand by and let that happen. The draconian legislation the Ford government passed to impose collective agreements on CUPE and remove their charter rights to free and fair collective bargaining and to strike was an unprecedented attack on collective bargaining rights, the likes of which we've never seen in the Canadian history. Rest assured, we, our members, my colleagues, the people of Ontario, we will hold Premier Ford to his word to rescind Bill 28. We stand in steadfast solidarity with CUPE. You can count on us. You can count on ETFO. Solidarity.
Well, this is as serious as it gets. I'm Lana Payne, and I'm the national president of Unifor. We represent 315,000 workers across this country, most of whom work in the private sector. First, let me start by congratulating CUPE education workers today for their heart, for their courage and their resolve. They're the reason we're all here. And to Laura Walton for her fierce and relentless leadership. To be very clear, the bargaining table is the only place where this will be settled. And the priority now is to get these workers a fair and negotiated collective agreement. Half of Unifor's members live and work here in Ontario. Bill 28, as you've already heard, represents an outrageous and unprecedented attack on workers' rights and trade union freedoms. And as a labor movement, we were prepared to respond with an unprecedented response.
So again, you're listening to live coverage of a news conference that was organized by CUPE, but clearly a number of labor leaders from across the province are there. So CUPE saying earlier too that protest sites will be collapsed tomorrow. So those will be stopped tomorrow. We are under the assumption that means that classes will resume across Ontario at any schools that were affected. Now, we will have to wait to hear from school boards to have that and to confirm that. But again, with protests scheduled to end tomorrow, CUPE also saying that they did get in writing from the Premier's office that the government will repeal Bill 28 in its entirety, including the use of the notwithstanding clause. That was the delay in what we were waiting to hear from CUPE at one point this morning. Negotiations at the bargaining table are expected to continue now at this point. So again, the Premier backs off this morning, and this strike will come to an end, it appears, tomorrow. Kids, again, we are assuming at this point, but we will confirm at some point that kids will be back in class tomorrow. So stay tuned. If we learned anything more, we will bring you the very latest on this.